Longline fishing for giant tuna is a traditional method but is still widely used in the modern fishing industry because of its efficiency and environmental friendliness. This method is often carried out on offshore fishing vessels, equipped with a longline system consisting of thousands of hooks attached to a main line tens to hundreds of kilometers long. Before going to sea, fishermen carefully prepare bait, usually small fish such as mackerel or squid, to attract tuna. When going to the fishing area, usually deep, offshore waters with warm currents, they will drop the fishing line into the sea at night or early morning, when the tuna are most active and most likely to be caught. The hooks are dropped at regular intervals, suspended in the middle or deep water layer to suit the hunting habits of giant tuna. After a certain period of time, usually from a few hours to half a day, the fisherman will collect the line. Catching giant tuna requires great strength, patience and skill because this fish is large in size, has strong pulling force and is very aggressive when hooked. The process of bringing the fish onto the ship must be done skillfully to avoid damaging the fish meat or causing the fish to fall off the hook. After catching, the tuna will be pre-processed and refrigerated on board to maintain its freshness. This is a hard and risky job, but brings high economic value because giant tuna is a precious seafood, popular in the international market, especially in Japan, where tuna is considered a premium ingredient for high-class sashimi and sushi dishes. In addition to requiring technique and strength, catching giant tuna with long lines also requires a deep understanding of the weather, ocean currents and migration habits of this fish species. Fishermen often rely on years of practical experience, combined with modern equipment such as GPS locators. Radar systems, fish finders, and satellite data to determine tuna movements. Factors such as sea temperature, salinity, and plankton density, the tuna's natural food, can all affect the success of a fishing trip. During peak season, fleets can be out at sea for weeks at a time, living and working right on board in the middle of the ocean. Each trip lasts from a few days to a few weeks, depending on weather conditions and harvest. For large tuna, after being brought onto the boat, fishermen will use specialized tools to cut open the belly, remove the organs, and quickly cool them with ice or deep freeze them, to ensure that the quality of the meat is not affected by the ambient temperature. In addition, information on weight, length and catch location is also carefully recorded to serve the purpose of traceability. Fishing ground investigation and sustainable protection of marine resources. In recent years, due to the increasing demand for tuna consumption, many countries and international organizations have introduced strict regulations to protect this fish species from the risk of overexploitation, including catch limits, minimum size regulations for fishing, and bans on fishing during the spawning season. Therefore, catching giant tuna is not only a profession, but also an art that combines tradition and technology, skills and responsibility for the natural environment, not only stopping at fishing techniques, The process of consuming and distributing giant tuna also plays an extremely important role in the value chain of this marine industry. After being refrigerated or frozen on board, the fish will be transported to the mainland through large fishing ports, which have cold storage systems. Professional classification and auction facilities. Here, giant tuna are often classified based on meat quality, color, freshness and fat level, factors that directly affect the commercial value of the fish. Those that meet the highest standards can be exported to demanding markets such as Japan, Korea, Europe or the US, where they are consumed for tens of thousands of dollars each. In some special cases, giant tuna have even been auctioned at record prices at famous fish markets such as Toyosu Fish Market in Tokyo, becoming a symbol of luxury and class in the culinary industry. At the same time, the issue of conservation is also urgent, because giant tuna is a species of fish with a slow growth cycle, long lifespan and is easily affected by overfishing. Many international organizations such as ICART, International Commission for the Conservation of Atlantic Tunas, have established temporary no-take zones. Required tagging to track individuals, and promoted the use of selective fishing methods to reduce the number of other marine species accidentally caught. For fishermen, compliance with these regulations is not only a legal obligation but also an act to protect their livelihood in the future. Nowadays, many fishing communities have switched to sustainable fishing models, using clean technology and participating in certification programs such as MSC, Marine Stewardship Council, to enhance product reputation and expand export markets. From that, it can be seen that longline fishing for giant tuna is not simply a fishing activity, but also a complex journey, requiring elaborate investment, professional knowledge, persistent working spirit and high responsibility for the marine environment. It is the combination of long-standing tradition and modern innovation that has contributed to maintaining and developing tuna fishing as an important and potential marine economic sector in the world today. In addition to technical and environmental factors, the human aspect of giant tuna fishing is also an indispensable part, contributing to the uniqueness and cultural depth of the marine industry. Fishermen who take part in long journeys in the middle of the ocean often face many challenges such as storms, big waves, lack of material resources, isolation from the mainland and sometimes the risk of occupational accidents. Life on board is not easy, they have to work continuously, day and night, in harsh conditions and cramped spaces. However, above all, the spirit of solidarity, discipline and love for the job has united the seafarers as a family, sharing difficulties and looking forward to a good catch-return trip. In addition, tuna fishing has also created unique cultural imprints in coastal fishing communities. In many places, before each trip, people often hold fishing ceremonies to pray for calm seas and boats full of fish. Folk songs and stories about the sea, giant fish and adventures in the middle of the ocean have also become part of the oral heritage, enriching the spiritual life of coastal people. For today's young generation, tuna fishing is not only a livelihood but also a source of pride, a symbol of human strength, courage and intelligence in the face of vast nature. In the context of climate change and increasingly declining marine resources, longline giant tuna fishing is facing important changes. The application of modern technology to monitor vessels, trace product origins, or improve fishing equipment in a more environmentally friendly direction is an inevitable trend. At the same time, strengthening international cooperation in protecting fishing grounds. Controlling catches and promoting sustainable fishing are necessary solutions to both exploit effectively and preserve marine resources for future generations. Thus, giant tuna fishing is not simply an economic activity, but also a journey associated with people, culture and the responsibility to preserve nature, a living testament to the harmonious relationship between humans and the vast ocean from an economic perspective. Longline fishing for giant tuna has been making an important contribution to the income of many coastal localities, especially in countries with large sea areas such as Japan, the Philippines, Indonesia, the United States and Vietnam. In Vietnam, ocean tuna, especially yellowfin tuna, is mainly exploited in the central provinces such as Binh Dinh, Phu Yen, Cang Hoa, becoming the main source of income for thousands of fishing households. Many models of linkage between fishermen and purchasing and exporting enterprises have been implemented, helping to increase product value, improve workers' lives and contribute to promoting sustainable marine economic development. In addition, tuna exports also bring a large source of foreign currency to the country, opening the door to integration and affirming the position of Vietnamese seafood in the international market. However, to develop tuna fishing sustainably, there needs to be synchronous participation from many sides. The state needs to issue practical support policies for fishermen such as investing in modern fishing vessels, supporting insurance for fishermen and boats, training in fishing skills and post-harvest preservation. In addition, processing and exporting enterprises also need to accompany fishermen through product consumption contracts. Guiding fishing processes to ensure international quality standards and supporting advanced preservation technology. Research institutes and universities can also contribute by providing scientific data on fishing grounds, tuna migration habits and solutions to minimize negative impacts on marine ecosystems. On the consumer side, prioritizing the use of tuna products with sustainable certification will contribute to creating positive pressure on the supply chain, promoting the development of the seafood industry in a green, clean, responsible direction. In short, Longline fishing for giant tuna is a traditional activity but still plays an extremely important role in the present era. Not only a livelihood, it is also a symbol of human resilience in front of the sea. A link between economy, culture and environmental protection. In the future, with technological innovation, the connection between parties and the awareness of preserving natural resources. Tuna fishing will continue to expand, develop strongly and make long-term contributions to the prosperity of coastal communities as well as the entire national economy. In addition to economic and cultural values, giant tuna fishing also bears the mark of a life closely linked to the sea, where each trip to sea is not only a journey to make a living, but also a face-to-face with challenges, an opportunity to affirm one's mettle and belief in oneself. For many fishermen, the sea is not only a source of life but also a companion, a familiar living space that is attached to them for life. Children of the sea grow up with the sound of waves, get used to the salty taste of the wind and learn to read and understand every change in the sky and water. It is this understanding, crystallized from practical experience, that has helped them stand firm in a profession full of risks but also full of hope. With the development of sea tourism and the increasing demand for real-life experiences, giant tuna fishing is also exploited as a form of eco-adventure tourism. Many domestic and foreign tourists are willing to spend a lot of money to follow fishing boats out to sea, witness and even participate in the process of fishing, collecting fish, and then enjoy delicious dishes right on the boat. These authentic experiences not only bring additional income to fishermen but also help promote marine culture, raise public awareness of the role of the ocean and the responsible protection of marine resources. However, along with opportunities are increasingly obvious challenges. Climate change with the phenomenon of warming seawater, ocean acidification and changes in ocean currents have been and are directly affecting the habitat of tuna, making fishing more difficult. In addition, fierce competition between fleets from many countries, illegal fishing and resource abuse also put great pressure on this traditional profession. Therefore, developing tuna fishing scientifically, organized and in line with globalization trends is extremely necessary. Finally, longline fishing for giant tuna is not only a profession, but also part of a long story about people, about the sea and about the future. It is a symbol of strength and resilience, a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability to the vast nature. In the journey towards a green and sustainable marine economy, tuna fishing will continue to play an important role, not only because of its economic value, but also because of the profound spiritual, cultural and human values it brings to maintain and develop the giant tuna fishing industry in the long term. Education and passing on the profession to the younger generation also play a key role, in the context of many young people in fishing villages tending to leave the sea to find more stable jobs on land. Preserving traditional knowledge, seafaring skills and love for the ocean is becoming more urgent than ever. Many localities have begun to organize practical classes on fishing. On-board experience programs for students to arouse interest and encourage the younger generation to follow the path their ancestors have taken. At the same time, combining traditional knowledge with modern science and technology, such as applying AI in predicting fishing grounds, using advanced sensors and positioning devices, also opens up new directions to help fishing become more attractive and effective for the younger generation. In addition, the role of the international community in protecting tuna resources is also increasingly evident. Ocean treaties, regional organizations such as the WCPFC, Western and Central Pacific Fisheries Commission, or cooperation programs between Pacific Rim countries have set regulations and limits on tuna catches to avoid overfishing. Initiatives such as responsible fishing and certified sustainable seafood not only contribute to environmental protection but also increase the commercial value of tuna in the international market. The fact that countries share data, jointly manage common waters and jointly monitor fishing vessels is a testament to a global mindset in the fisheries sector, where each small action of a country can have a big impact on the entire marine ecosystem. All of this shows that longline fishing for giant tuna is no longer just a single job associated with each boat or each fishing village, but has become part of a global network where people, technology, culture and the environment blend together. The harmonious combination of tradition and modernity, economic benefits and ecological responsibility, individuals and the international community will be the key for this industry to continue to exist. Develop and spread values in the future. Each tuna brought from the ocean to the surface is not only the result of labor, but also the crystallization of knowledge, perseverance and the strong relationship between humans and nature, a living symbol for the journey of survival and development of coastal communities around the world. From everyday stories on fishing boats to strategic stature in marine economic development, longline fishing for giant tuna has risen from a traditional profession to an indispensable part of the global value chain. That places higher demands on professionalism in management, transparency in traceability and a sense of responsibility to society and the environment. Building a national brand for tuna products is also a strategic direction that needs to be focused on. When tuna products not only carry nutritional value but also carry stories about people, the sea, and culture. Proper communication and promotion will help increase added value, attract investment, and expand the international market. In addition, the development of supporting industries associated with tuna fishing such as deep processing, cold logistics, specialized shipbuilding, post-harvest preservation research, or developing fishing experience tourism also opens up opportunities for job creation and sustainable development for coastal localities. Modern processing plants can utilize the entire tuna, from meat, head, fins, to bones, to make food, animal feed, cosmetics, or medicine, contributing to reducing waste and improving economic efficiency. At the same time, fish markets, Seafood festivals or offshore tours following the model of a day as a fisherman also help domestic and foreign tourists get closer to tuna fishing. A profession that is both arduous and majestic. As the world enters the era of green development, circularity and adaptation to climate change, longline tuna fishing, with the advantage of causing little damage to the seabed ecosystem, limiting off-target catches and being easy to control, is being evaluated as one of the forms of sustainable fisheries. If well managed, combining support policies, science and technology and the accompaniment of the international community, this method not only contributes to ensuring food security, but also preserves the precious resources of the ocean for future generations. In short, the journey to catch giant tuna with long lines is a symbol of the relationship between humans and the ocean, a challenging but also extremely profound relationship. It requires perseverance, creativity and responsibility from each individual and the whole society in the new era.